All right. Okay, we're live. All right, everybody. Welcome, Dumb Investing, Dumbest Investing Channel, all YouTubes. We've got the other daily show where we roll random dice, pick random stocks. You'll love it. This is where we talk about the market, what's going on. We've been absent for a couple of days, or a couple of weeks, actually, from here. So we got a lot to talk about. Harry, what's on your mind?
Oh my goodness, what's on my mind? I don't think I can get it all out at one point in time. Where did we start? So since we last met, the very first thing that happened was inflation came out. So inflation came out, and basically inflation met expectations. It met what everybody thought was going to happen, and that started an entire catalyst of things happening after that. Like so much.
And it did it because what happens? When things go to plan, what happens to people?
The fear, uncertainty, and doubt gets removed from the market.
Disappears.
The FUD is gone.
FUD is gone. Let's spend some money.
We've got no more FUD in the market for the next couple months. I mean, we've got inflation coming up in another couple weeks, but
we got Powell talking next week.
FUD off.
Right? We got Powell next week.
Yeah.
So the expectation with Powell is that there is going to be a taper announced. And there is going to be, when we're done doing that, we know we got to touch rates at some point. But right now, we're going to watch things, right? That's what we expect him to say.
Yeah. Well, I think we're expecting him to say that tapering is about to start. Tapering is starting.
All right. So that caused the market to pull out their checkbooks. And we had fun.
Rally. We got a whole bunch of cash sitting on the sidelines.
A whole bunch. So corporations are carrying the most cash that they've ever carried in the history. Households are carrying more cash than they've ever had in the history. So there's a whole bunch of cash.
Banks have more cash than they can possibly carry. Reverse repo rates are at $1.5 trillion on a day. But everybody is flush with cash.
How much do you make on your cash? Nothing. Cash
actually
doesn't
negative.
You lose money. It's negative.
Right.
Yep. So
and why is that?
Okay, because if you put $100 in the bank over the next year is going to give you 0.001 penny. They're going to give you a tenth of a penny in that year. But inflation is going to happen at about 4%. So you really only have $96 worth of buying power. You lost $4 by putting $100 in the bank and sitting on it. Nobody wants to do that. Somebody's got to start investing some money. So where'd they stick some of that money? Where'd it go?
Start investing some of that money.
Yes, they did. And they went right to Bitcoin.
Yeah.
They went to crypto. A lot of crypto.
After the inflation announcement, crypto went nutsos. Bitcoin, Ethereum, the two mainstreams went absolutely bonkers. So
do you have a Bitcoin chart we can look at?
$4,000.
Did Bitcoin like double in 45 days or something like that?
I don't know the answer to that. We could pull it up here, but it
went nuts.
30,000, 40,000, and it went straight up to 64,000 from that mark, right? Ethereum went from $2,800 to $4,400.
So all the while that was happening, and then what popped up in the coin world?
In cryptos?
In cryptos.
Well, we had this new, I don't want to call it new. We had this little phenomenon called Shiba Inu.
Shiba Inu.
Yeah. So, Lloyd, tell me a little bit about Shiba Inu and what happened to you personally when Shiba Inu became available.
So, Shiba Inu, we're going to turn back time a little bit. Shiba Inu is how old? Is it about a year old?
Sure. Yeah.
Something like that. Shiba Inu was developed on the Ethereum platform, where Dogecoin was developed on the Bitcoin platform. And the belief is the Ethereum platform is a faster, lighter platform, easier to manage. And Shiba Inu was basically the altcoin to a Dogecoin.
Yes.
So they said, we've got a better way to do Doge.
Shiba Inu was created off of a joke coin. So Doge was created as a joke for crypto. Shiba Inu was the proof of concept that the joke was, so they made it a functional coin as opposed to a joke coin. And what they ended up doing is they made it rated at some sort of hyper quadrillion dollar amount. Not that it really matters, but Shiba was, it has a purpose where Doge does not. I don't want to say a purpose. It has a function.
No, I think that's fair to say.
No, it's a function. Doge is less functional, and Shib is a functional coin. So, if we go back in time, let's say 1 week ago, Shib, tell us a little bit more about what happened with you and Shib.
Okay, so about 2 months ago, I got a notification on Webull that said, would you like to participate in a beta test of Sheepcoin? And I clicked on the little thing and I read about it and I read what Sheepcoin was about. And the price was 0.0000 and then some numbers. And it was crazy. So in my account, I had just gotten one of my little dividends. I think it was like $16 or something paid that day. And I thought, you know what? I'll buy $16 worth of Shib. And it just sat there for a month. And I didn't even remember I had it, except I looked at it.
Do you recall how many Shib coins you got?
Well, funny thing is, it was maybe 2.7 million or something on the first buy.
For $16, you got 2.7
for $16, yeah. Yes. Right. And then I've done subsequent buys as I got other dividends. I would buy others. So I now own millions of these coins. And I was buying them basically because a couple of my dividends stocks are monthly stocks, and so they don't pay a whole lot of money. They don't pay enough money to really do anything with it. So I would usually let 4 or 5 of those build up before, and then I could go buy 10 shares of something. So
you're a million shares. Is that what you say? What you are?
Yes. and it's been really fun because it has been running like crazy the last 2 weeks, to where I actually look at the chart now and go, oh my God, I can't believe what Shib did today.
Let's take a look at Shib.
Yeah.
So folks, this is the Shib chart.
It's insane.
So Lloyd got his beta test probably somewhere in this range here at 13.
Nope. Back at 827 was the first day that I bought.
Okay, so we're down here. So
it was
0.000082.
It was insane, yeah.
Back in October 3rd, many, many, many moons ago, like 20. All the way to today. So we have, let's count to 0. So we've got 5 zeros here now.
Yep.
We now have up here at the chart, there's only 4
zeros
and an 8. That means that you have 100 times your investment.
Yeah. Well, it's actually, mine is showing a lot more than that right now.
Well, you 100x your investment.
Yes,
right?
100.
It's moved an entire decimal place.
Yes.
So
yes, the $16 turned into $160 very quickly.
Yeah, pretty incredible. I personally took some. I think I had $60 in some other altcoin. I went and bought Shib somewhere in the, I don't know, $14 range. I don't know what it was, and then I put another $100 into it, and that $160 is now turned into $500.
Yeah, this is crazy. And the crazy part is that Sheeb is just now being talked about in the mainstream.
Yeah.
And you can't buy Sheeb with Robinhood. Coinbase, their servers locked up because so many people were trying to buy it. They actually got blacked out. So it is becoming very popular. It is now the 11th most popular coin based on market capitalization. So
unbelievable.
Once you get into the top 10, then things start getting really serious. When you're in the top 10, that's when the hedge funds guys start looking at it. Wall Street's looking at it. Everybody's wondering, do we need to play? Should we have $1 million worth of this? If you're a hedgie that's got trillions of dollars invested, you're wondering, hey, should we have 0.5% in this crazy coin? That what happens if it goes from 0.0008 to 1 cent? I mean, imagine that if you sunk $1 million in, it went from there to there. That's kind of game changer, right? So the belief is, if the Sheeb coin can do what it does and it can gain popularity, can break into the top 10, it has the possibility of going to $1, becoming the third most popular coin. Bitcoin number 1, Ethereum number 2, and then Sheeb. And maybe you get guys like Elon who says, yeah, we'll accept Sheeb. You can buy a Tesla with Sheeb and stuff like that. And it starts, maybe you can use it at Starbucks. Maybe, who knows what can happen. But once it breaks the top 10, that's when people really start looking at things.
For sure. The one, well, there's a whole lot to unravel here. Where do you think? Okay, hold on. Let me retract. In January of 2021, someone invested $8,000 into Sheeb. That $8,000 today is worth billions of dollars.
That's hard to comprehend, isn't it?
Completely impossible to comprehend. That's the power of crypto, and that's the volatility of crypto. Obviously, okay, so if you're going to bet on crypto, and we're certainly not here speculating to bet on crypto, but if you want to speculate, 60% of the cryptos that you would speculate on, they all fail. You're going to lose all your money. 40% you might, or let's say 35%, you're maybe break even. 5% you might make a little bit. 0.01%, yeah, those are the ones go to the moon, and you make $1 billion.
Yeah.
I mean, can it happen? It can happen to anybody. Do you want to do it? Totally up to your risk level. Certainly not here proposing that you do it.
No.
We invested a little bit into it personally, just because it was fun, just something to do. It was Sheeb. We're playing on momentum, right? Momentum of Doge, momentum on Elon tweeting on anything. He's got a Shiba Inu dog. You never know what he might post a picture of the Shiba Inu, and that could send Sheeb up even more, right? So it's just something to be aware of, that these coins can move based on non-fundamentals. Like, there's very little fundamentals built around them. So just be very aware, be very cognizant that this is 100% risk. And I got to tell you guys, this is only for entertainment purposes only. Do not invest anything you're not willing to lose. So, especially on stuff like this. So, Lloyd, tell us quickly, where do you think Shib is going and why?
Shib is going to $1.
Oh my goodness.
That's what's going to happen to it.
I'm going to be a millionaire.
Shib is going to go to $1, and it is going to bring, because this is going to be the thing that people start talking about. This is going to solidify Bitcoin and Ethereum as a probable substitute for currency. It's going to wake people up to what is possible.
I have to disagree because I don't think it's fair to our viewers to think that it's going to go to $1. But the reason I have to disagree is because if this thing goes to $1, it's going to be worth more in market cap than anything that's ever been in the market. Like, it's going to be worth $400 and something trillion. Like, it is just off the charts. Hold on. Let me switch screens.
Let's do the math.
I'm going to pull up CoinMarketCap.
Yeah, for sure.
So CoinMarketCap, and if I look up Shib, I just didn't want to show anything that I shouldn't show.
No, you're cool.
Let's do.
But once you get it up, share it with us.
Share screen. Oop, that was stop. Share. Oh, I see. I see the problem. Okay. Okay. So this is CoinMarketCap website. We got Shiba Inu here. This is October 26th of 2021. And we've got a market cap, the market rank number 9.
Number 9? Uh-oh. They broke it. Oh, wow.
Uh-oh.
Oh, wow.
So we've got a current market cap of 33 billion.
Yeah.
And we're sitting at what's the number? Where is it?
0, 4 zeros and an 8.
So if we take $1 divided by 0.0000844.
Yep.
That means it has to go up 11,848%.
Okay.
So if we go 11,848 times, what was the number? 33.
33. 082.
825. 630. 300. And oh my God. Okay. So we've got hundreds, thousands, millions, billions, trillions. $392 trillion. I get a little stuck at that number.
Well, let's go. What's Bitcoin?
Bitcoin.
Okay.
1.12 trillion. So that's where I get a little bit off on the numbers of it going to $1.
So I saw a different analysis that said when Shiba was at $1, it would be the rank number 3. So that's what I was basing it off of.
I think
it could sit at number 3.
Penny is number 3.
Quite possibly. Yeah.
I think the person showing the numbers may have been off by a factor of 1,000.
And we're not going to call them out right now, but We might check.
He's not going to watch
tomorrow
the
so.
show anyways.
He might. We say good morning to the guy every day. So. I'm sure he might lurk and watch the show from time to time.
You never know. You might have to call him out, and you never know what kind of Trojan horse you can pull off that one. Anyway,
all right,
that is point number one. We've got a lot to talk about still.
Well, we can't. I gotta go to bed at some point, man. Yeah, we're starting to get into my sleepy time. Let's talk about Tesla. Because Tesla this was a good week for Tesla.
Yeah, don't say.
So somebody walked up and knocked on the door and said, "Hey, we'd like to buy some cars." How many cars do they want to buy?
Mr. Hertz, bankrupt company from a couple of years back, a year ago, walked up and said, "Hey, Mr. Tesla, Elon, hey, I'd like to have a little handshake deal, and I'd like to buy 100,000 Model Ys."
Now, that is the equivalent of...
Model Ys, Model 3s, whatever.
I can't remember which one.
Doesn't matter. That was the equivalent of $4.2 billion.
And that's 25% of their yearly output?
Well, 100,000. Tesla is going to do about 900,000 vehicles this year. And I'm sure you guys know, but I'm a big Tesla bull. So I know a lot about Tesla vehicles. So they were hoping to do about $1 million or 1 million vehicles this year. They're going to run a little short, likely mostly due to supply chain challenges. Tesla does not have a demand problem. They have a supply problem, ultimately. And now that they've added another 100,000 vehicles to the mix through Hertz, that $4.2 billion, basically it ended up adding somewhere in the realm of $25 billion market cap into Tesla. So the stock went up about 13%.
Say that again. Let's make sure we all heard that.
$25 billion in market cap on a $5 billion deal, $4.2 billion deal.
So why? Why, when Hertz used to buy Mustangs from Ford and stuff like that, why is this such big news?
Well, we're electrifying America, right?
Because there are so many people who today have never had an opportunity to sit in a Tesla, drive a Tesla, figure out what it's all about. That they are going to go to an airport, they're going to go rent a car, and they're going to get the keys to this electric car, and they're going to jump in, and they're going to go, whoa, this is what it is? And they're going to drive this sucker around, and they're going to go, and they're going to be like, I do want one of these.
That was the best.
This can replace my car. Yeah. And this is basically lighting the fuse at Tesla.
And it's only just beginning.
We got gigafactories coming on board. We've got one down in Austin that is, I've never seen a building this big. The world hasn't. It's ginormous.
Where do I even begin? There is so much. Tesla came out with earnings at the same, prior to that, they hit their
a couple of days before
margin threshold. They're expecting to be able to get more profitable, more gross margin. They're trying to get to 40% gross margin, which is completely unheard of in auto manufacturing. Auto manufacturing, if they're able to get 10 to 12% off the line, they're ecstatic. Tesla's gonna break that barrier, and with their gigapresses and everything that's going on, they are going to hit. 40% is bullish. That I'm totally comfortable at 30%. I will run those numbers all day. When they get to, they're going to do 1 million vehicles. Well, they're going to do 900,000 vehicles this year. They're probably going to do 2 million next year. They're probably going to do 5 the year after, and they're probably going to do 7.5 the year after that, and they're probably going to do 10 in 5 years. That's a 10x production at 35% gross margin just on vehicles, and that doesn't even take into account the rest.
How many of those guys are going to say, "Hey, I want to charge my new electric car with the sun. I need to put in some Tesla panels. And while I'm doing it, maybe I should put in some batteries and charge those suckers during the day and then run the house at night on my Tesla battery. That would be great. I know one of the guys at work is looking at a Tesla battery right now for his cabin. He's got batteries and the solar thing, and he's just like, man, you got to do all this maintenance stuff. There's no maintenance on the Tesla one. He's like, I just put it in and I got 10 years.
Well, the only thing you got to put on the thing is new tires, right?
I was talking about his
on the
solar
car.
system.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, on the car.
But yeah, the cars, you don't have to do oil changes anymore.
Right.
You don't have to there's very, very little. And that's what Hertz loves about it. They're like, we just plug it in. We don't have to do all this other crap to it.
What else did Hertz do today? Or maybe yesterday?
We're going to lease those Teslas to Uber drivers.
Yeah, we
are. It's going to be awesome.
Yep. So we're going to basically completely change the revenue model of Hertz, give Uber drivers a Tesla to drive around in, basically paving the way for robo-taxis. And
one day.
Don't get like I'm
that Tesla may not have a driver one day.
But for now, you're basically going to have a robo-taxi with a driver. And one day that driver is going to be removed, which also means you get higher capacities. You get now 5 people in a vehicle versus 4 at the max. And that is a game changer. Robotaxis changes the game for Tesla. There is so much to be bullish on here. Where their market cap could go, I don't see how they aren't the biggest company in the world in 10 years.
Well, Kathy Woods is betting her company on it, basically.
I ran some numbers personally. Looking at just a conservative market cap, I got $3,300 a share in 10 years. So that's a triple from where we are today. I think that's pretty bearish, to be honest. That's running at a 30 PE. And that's only based on cars. It has nothing to do with energy.
All the subsequent, Tesla they're going to change the world.
And
they're changing the world.
Sidebar, Tesla probably has a pretty good stake into SpaceX, which is really going to change the world. Because it's going to be actually out of this world.
I love it. All right. What else? Do we want to talk about ENPH at all? I know that's on a personal note. ENPH has been good to the two of us.
You had a prelude into ENPH talking about the power walls and stuff, and I thought you might have went down that road. So
I was waiting. I wanted to finish Tesla.
We've got the Tesla power walls. We've got a competitor to Tesla, which we are a big fan of as well, with ENPH. So go ahead, ENPH.
So ENPH is a whole house solution, much like Tesla Solar, where they provide you with panels, they provide you with batteries, they do all that stuff. They've got the smart controls, and they are making it very, very easy. And it's one of those things. If you're going to be great, you need a great competitor to make you better. And ENPH is that great competitor to Tesla, just like Chevy is to Ford. Except ENPH doesn't build cars. They're just doing all the power stuff. But they are the guys that are making it very easy to call them up and say, hey, let's change my house over, and they can do it all. You can go on their website today and you can say, hey, here's how big my house is. I run my air conditioning. I run a wash machine. You do all that stuff, and it'll automatically say, oh, well, you need this many megawatts and a battery this big and this. Here's how much it would cost. Do you want to have an installer come out and take a look? And they can, based on your zip code, they can tell you, oh, yeah, you're in this zone. You're going to get this much sun. You're going to have this much efficiency. It's unbelievable how easy it is to go out and say, oh, click the button. Okay.
Well, the one very cool thing that ENPH just came out with this past week was an inverter for their solar panels to bypass. Basically, if the sun is shining, they're able to provide power to your house, even if the power goes out. Today, without those types of inverters, if the power goes out, even if the sun is shining, when you have solar on your roof, you don't get power. That's just the way it works right now, because there's no bypass from the solar directly into your electrical panel. You need an inverter to be able to do that, send those solar power down to the inverter, to the electrical panel that can power your house. Even if you have the solar batteries, or sorry, even if you have solar power, doesn't necessarily mean that you would always have power. This inverter changes the game. So they're able to put that into your house without a battery system to be able to provide power during the day off your solar system. And if the power goes out, you still have power. So a little bit of a game changer. They're the only ones that have done it so far. Very innovative. And it helps bypass the battery requirements for a house. But I think ultimately, if you wanted to have the safety net of always being able to have power, you probably want to have the battery solution anyways. But if you just sun shining, you want power, they now have an inverter for that. So a bit of a game changer, first ones to be able to do it. So very cool.
Cool beans.
They also crushed earnings. Crushed earnings.
They did. And
they've had, so one of the big challenges along the way here have been chip shortages. That's been an ongoing discussion about the entire supply chain. We have reached the precipice of that, and we are now down the backside. So we believe that chip shortages are going to start to alleviate. Companies that have relied on chips like Tesla, everyone essentially, but Tesla and ENPH specifically for this conversation, they've been very profitable and they've done very well, even in spite of the chip shortages. So the market thinks that when chips become more readily available, as they are starting to be, there's nowhere to go but up from here.
Love it.
Yeah, pretty cool.
All right, some final thoughts. If you tune into Bloomberg or any of those other MSNBC or whatever you want to listen to, you hear a lot of people talking about bonds. Why do we even care what's going on? Not a bond trader. Are you a bond trader? No. But that market is, everybody talks about it. Here, let me put the bonds up on the screen.
I can't afford to buy bonds. They don't pay enough.
So the bond market basically is.
What are you sharing? I only see the wormhole.
Oh, I didn't share my screen. Dang it. I'm sorry. So I went out to Yahoo and I'm doing the 10-year. Because that's when everybody talks about, right?
Yeah.
So
when the 10-year went down to 1.529.
So this is crazy, right? So as the bond yield goes up, so it goes up because more people want these. So there's more people fighting for them, right? And that means that people are looking for a place to put their money. So when the FUD is high, you tend to have people put money into the bonds. As the yield is coming down, that is an indicator that people are a little bit more free with their money. And they might think that, hey, it's safe to go into stocks, equities, as you'll hear them talk on the radio if you're listening to them, when you're driving to work and stuff like that. So that is a good thing to see if you're on the equity side of things, if you're in the stocks and you're like, hey, the bonds are rolling off. So there's money that's probably coming in.
Typically tech, right? That's where most of the investment, as yield rates go down, tech usually generally alludes to tech moving higher. And Google had a great move today. It was up 5.5%. It's
was today earnings? Because I know there's been a lot of earnings. Microsoft freaking hit it out of the park. What are they up 10% or something like that? I mean, they're nuts. Yeah,
really?
Microsoft had either yesterday or today. I can't remember.
I own some Microsoft, but I did buy some Apple before earnings.
What is
Earnings
Microsoft?
for Apple are tomorrow.
Let me take a look here at Microsoft. See, when did it hit its deal? Oh, yeah, look at this chart. Dude, this is awesome.
Show us.
Look at that. So they must have released earnings this morning before.
Oh, yeah. Up 4% today. Wow.
Yeah. Pretty awesome.
So I would bet that Google didn't release earnings and they're coming out in the very near future. And it's probably the Microsoft was probably just a prelude.
The catalyst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Google, I'm just pulling up on my chart here if I can find it.
I'm seeing if I can find it.
Is come on, Weeble, tell me. Okay, I'm hovering over it, but it won't tell me. They're 1026. Oh no, so they did have earnings.
Yeah.
So Google came out. Their estimated EPS was 23.48% or 23.48, and actual EPS was 27.99. So they beat by about 15%.
Yeah, and they're up 5% for the day. So holy cow! I mean, that's cool beans.
Yeah, it's big dollars, big dollars.
All right.
Anything else outside of just regular commodities? Do we want to touch on regular commodities, oil, gas, all the gold, silver?
We can save all that stuff. That we're 30 some minutes into this. It's my bedtime. We'll be back tomorrow. We're going to do a daily show tomorrow. Probably won't do market commentary until maybe Tuesday or Wednesday.
Unless something really cool happens.
Yeah. Well, next week we got Powell, so I mean it'll be fun to hear what he has to say. And don't we have employment data next Friday?
Man, the FUD is gone. Nobody cares anymore.
I know. I don't think it's going to matter.
Nobody cares. End of the year rally, October, November, December, to the moon for Christmas, and then 2022 comes, and we'll see what happens.
And I hate to be political, but there's been a lot of stuff in Washington that the big, huge spending, all the tax increases are kind of being rolled back in the corporate taxes. So that's also good for the market. Yeah.
Big catalyst. Yeah.
Yeah.
Things are lining up for very good profits for companies, lots of cash, lots of free cash in companies. Spend, even though all of the indices are at all-time highs.
But for all you billionaires who watch our show, be careful because they're coming after your money now. They're going to have a billionaire's tax.
On that needs to be saved for another day. That is one crazy thing that I really need to get off my chest and off my mind. So we need to talk about that, and maybe we'll do that in market commentary tomorrow because it really drives me crazy.
Yes, lit a fuse on Harry. Check it out. All right, so let's call it good night. Don't trade like that fell over there.
Oh, yeah, definitely don't do anything what we do. Entertainment only. All that kinds of things. Don't sue us, blah, 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 blah.
All right.